Hi, this is Dave Bailey at the Museum of the West, and this is a mud wagon. A lot of you have seen pictures of the Concord stage with the fancy doors and the velvet interior. This is the lean and mean version of out west. It was lighter, it could go up higher grades. The Concord stage was too heavy to actually make it up some of the precipitous grades that we have here in Colorado. So it's very lightweight, very bumpy ride. It basically come out of your seat a lot of the time because the road to Silt and then to Glenwood Springs, sometimes with delays, you'd be on the road for 16 hours in the mud wagon. And they called it the mud wagon because the only way to keep out dust and dirt were these canvas flaps that came down. But by the time you got to Glenwood Springs, you were totally covered in dirt and dust and fed up. So what was there at Glenwood Springs to make your day? Hot springs. So basically all the passengers, and sometimes there'd be 9 to 13 passengers. There'd be one row here, one in the middle, then people sitting on top. And so they were, pretty tired by the time they got to Glenwood Springs. And you can see by the interior how sparse the mud wagon was. One is they wanted to keep the weight down so it was easier to pull horses up rough inclines. And so a very kind of sparse travel in this thing. They did have some Concord stage runs. They're a little more heavier duty, but they were only in flat areas, like on the Denver side, not over here in western Colorado. But the mud wagon, a couple of things, they would also carry payrolls. So the driver would sit up here, and then the guard would sit next to him with a shotgun. And that's why, like when you say you want to ride up front with the driver, you say shotgun, because the guard always had a small shotgun. And then they had the gold in a locked box underneath the guard's feet right here, and it was actually stuck here. And if you come over here, you can actually see one of the boxes that they kept the payrolls in with the lock, and then there's the shotgun, and then that's a Wells Fargo pistol that a guard would also have with him. So yeah, and were stages robbed frequently? No. Usually it was more banks, and the reason they rob banks is usually it's a couple of tellers in the bank. You know what you're getting into. If you're robbing a stagecoach, you have 9 to 10 people you know nothing about. They could have guns on them, they could be marshals, they could be lawmen. So a lot of times when they robbed a stage, they had 3 of their own people on the stage to learn about the passengers and what they had on them. And then they would pretend that they were also being robbed, but they were also part of the gang. So that was how to rob a stagecoach ride, is to have inside information.